Aung was finally able to absorb the power of the blue core, making him able to use water abilities. He wipes his mouth, saying that the blue core didn't taste that bad. He turns back to see the green healing aura surrounding Lu as she continues to lie on the ground unconsciously. With a closer look, her wounds had been completely healed. He uses the blue core water powers to transform himself into water to head over to Lu's body. He soon arrives with his body mostly in water. Aung continues to look at her with his eyes fully transformed into the demonic king's eyes. A voice speaks out saying that demons devour, humans kill. Aung hears those words and repeats them, demons devour, humans kill. As he raises his arm high into the air to strike Lu down with a smile on his face. He then unleashes a powerful downward strike that breaks through the green healing barrier that helped Lu to recover. Blood is seen splattered in the air. Aang's demonic hand could be seen trembling near Lu's face. Damn it, Aung mutters as he bites his lips hard enough to the point they started to bleed while veins appeared on the left side of his face. Aung had stopped his demonic hand from piercing Lu's face with his own hand. His demonic fingers could be seen pierced through his other hand. He tells the demonic side of him and the voice in his head to stop it. He struggles to hold himself back while shouting about how he could kill his own ally, and that all he wanted was for Lu to be safe. He curses the voices in his head. Aung lets out a terrifying scream that sends shockwaves into the air, telling the voice to get out of his head. The demonic Feng King could not believe that Aung could resist its will. He smiles and says that it was interesting as he fades into the darkness. Back at the city gates, the numerous warriors of the city are seen battling an endless horde of demons. Snow and Squadron are seen back to back facing the demons. Snow was upset over the number of finless demons that were starting to scale over the walls of the city. He unleashes a powerful blow onto the ground, causing a shockwave to erupt. It sends the finless demons close to the top into the air. He turns to Squadron to ask her where Aung and Lu were, as they were the only squad that hasn't had all their members gathered together. Squadron causally dodges a finless demon's attack from the back. She tells him that she had heard from the other teams that there were 2 warriors who had snuck out of the city and were targeted by one fin demon. She then stabs the blue finless demon in its throat, informing Snow that she believed that the 2 warriors were Aung and Lu. Squadron commented that she was worried about them. Snow was shocked to hear that Aung and Lu had snuck out of the city. Squadron touches her head while telling Snow to stop asking her all these questions about being targeted by a one-fine demon, as she couldn't imagine how bad that would be. Snow decides to unleash his anger onto the countless waves of finless demons, cursing at them and wondering why 2 one-fin demons had to appear. The both of them rush towards a blue finless demon that had reached the top. He tells her that they should focus on enduring the demon wave for now. Jean and Jel are seen rushing back to the city at full speed. They have finally reached the outskirts of the city, where they immediately strike down the finless demons that were within their reach. Joel speeds his way to join Jean and Jel. He then asks about how their cores were doing. Jean was seen in the air with his fist raised high into the skies as countless finless demons watch him. He slams a powerful fist into the blue finless demon, smashing its face into bits and sending shockwaves that pushed away the other finless demons. He then turns to Joel to tell him that his core was not that exhausted and that Jel's core should be in the same state as his. Jel's magnificent chest was moving up and down as she weaved past the countless finless demons. She thinks about the fact that the higher the explosive power, the more core energy is depleted, and because of that the strength exerted becomes weaker. Thankfully Jean and she were able to fight together against the red one-fin demon. If they hadn't done that, their cores would have been depleted, which would have made the demon wave a whole lot more problematic. She sends a finless demon to fly towards another, to one with an immense leg kick to its stomach. The 3 of them were now close to one another while facing the endless stream of finless demons. Jel asks Joel what they should do next. Joel continues to cut down any finless demon that got close to him, telling Jean and Jel that since they had killed the one-fin demon, the attacks of the no-fin demons had decreased significantly, and since the other one-fin demon is gone, the finless demons that were present were like soldiers without a commander, causing them to attack aimlessly. But although these no-finless demons have no thoughts of their own, they at least understood the idea of the fear of death. Joel then informs Jean and Jel that they should make the endless horde of finless demons fear them. Joel's fighting spirit erupts in a blue aura as he tells them that they should use this opportunity to weaken the finless demon's desire to attack, and to buy time for the soldiers on the wall to call for backup. Each of them had to be wary of their cores as well. "Let's give them an explosive battle this time," Joel shouts with a crazy look in his eyes. The cores on Jin's and Jel's chests began to shine brightly as they agreed to Joel's plan. The finless demons looked up to the skies as two red streaks of light shot up into the air. Jin and Jel had jumped up high to the point that they were over the city and its walls. They prepared to unleash a powerful attack from the skies, as Jin tells Jel that they should make these bastards explode till there's nothing left of them, as they both jumped into the skies and dove headfirst downwards. Their paths of red lights intertwined in the sky as the countless finless demons could do nothing but watch them fall from the sky. A powerful red impact in the form of lightning destroyed the ground where the horde of finless demons was, sending the others flying through the air due to its immense shockwave. A gigantic hole could be seen from the sky as a dust cloud formed a circle around it just barely outside the city. Two figures appear in the dust with their cores shining bright red. Jel informs Jin that this was the second time that they had to utilize their cores in battle if they included the attack on the one-fin demon as well. Jin tells her that if the cores on their bodies had no limitations, he would have been able to utilize this form of his to keep killing the demons. They both then took a step back and launched into a powerful red wave that cuts through the endless hordes of finless demons. Joel stood alone against numerous finless demons that were watching him. His blue aura rises from his body as he comments about the strength of the red cores was truly the most explosive. He then dashes through the waves of finless demons as well and heads towards the city wall. He smiles with joy as he cuts down the endless waves in front of him with his knife. Joel was a battle maniac. Snow and Shujio watched from above on the city's gates as the three squadron leaders tear through the endless horde of finless demons. Shujio wipes out her camera and takes a photo of them, commenting that it was an amazing moment as it was her first time witnessing their squadron leaders in action, showing off how strong they were. Snow watches the squadron leaders with a deep gaze. His thoughts were filled with awe of the squadron leader's strength, which represented the strength of a warrior with a one-finned core. Snow is so jealous as he wanted to be like them. Joel exhales heavily as smoke could be seen coming out from his mouth while a sweat drop drips down his face. Joel, Jin and Jel were now back together with their backs facing one another. Joel asks if Jin and Jel were alright. Jin replies that they were fine and that their bodies could still take it. Jel informs Joel that at least they were having a good time killing these demons. The three of them were standing alone in front of the city's gates surrounded by endless numbers of finless demons. Joel notices that the finless demons were beginning to back away and had stopped their attacks. He informs Jin and Jel that it looks like their plan was working and that it was about time that they cheered up the other warriors. Joel shouts out to the warriors, "Replenish your strength. Keep on fighting. The demon wave has been forced to retreat." The warriors on top of the city walls cheered upon hearing Joel's words as they shout out that their three squadron leaders were the best. Joel heard their cheer and stated that it was wonderful to hear. But something catches his eyes as he shouts at Jin and Jel to watch out as something was coming their way. They sensed the presence of a powerful one-fin demon that had appeared all of a sudden behind the finless demons. Jel wondered if it was the last one-fin demon. The smoke reveals a figure carrying something with a bright red light on its chest. The finless demons did nothing to the figure but only stared at it. The three squadron captains were shocked to see something. They see the figure of Aung carrying Lu through the demon wave. Aung wore an expressionless face as the squadron leaders called out his name. Aung continued to walk through the horde of endless finless demons after the squadron leaders called out to him. The finless demons could only stare at him as he walked by. Jel was shocked to see both Aung and Lu while being curious about what had happened to the one-fin demon that was with them. Joel became nervous at the sight of them walking past the finless demons, as even though they had beaten those no-fin demons into retreating, Aung couldn't come to them just like that as they would be devoured by the finless demons in an instant. What he feared soon came through as the finless demons started to lunge toward Aung and Lu. As the finless demons started to pour onto Aung and Lu to devour them, the squadron leaders rushed in to help them as Jin yells at the demon bastards to stop. The claws of the finless demons are reaching for Aung and Lu. Their claws reached closer but Aung had not yet reacted to their actions. He turns to them with his demonic king eyes and unleashes his red demonic aura, telling the finless demons that were reaching him to get lost. The finless demons were shocked to see the appearance of Aung and stopped in their tracks. A shockwave came out of Aang's body that sent the endless horde of finless demons back, enforcing their retreat from him. A red finless demon is seen kneeling on the ground before Aung. It struggles and moans before running away from Aung. The other finless demons were shocked to see one of their own runnings away. The rest of the finless demons then followed suit and began to run away from Aung and Lu. Aung could only stand still as the endless waves of finless demons run past him to escape. Jin comes to a screeching halt as he witnesses what had just happened. He was shocked to see that the demon wave filled with the finless demons had actually started to retreat. The warriors on top of the walls soon witnessed the same sight. They cheer and rejoiced that the demon wave had finally retreated, meaning that the warriors had managed to successfully protect the city from it. A warrior was curious about why the demon wave would have suddenly retreated. He wondered if it was because of the attacks from the 3 squadron leaders that managed to scare the demon wave off. Another warrior tells him that it was because of the squadron leaders' attacks and nothing else. Jin turns around to hear the cheers of the warriors and their shouting from up high the walls. They complimented the squadron leaders' explosive attacks that had managed to strike fear in the enemy and scared them into retreating. But the 3 squadron leaders felt that something was off and wondered if it was truly them that had managed to cause the demon wave to retreat. Jin then turns to look at Aung, wondering if it was because of him that the finless demons began to run away. Aung could finally let out a deep breath before dropping onto his knees. Jin sees this sight and was alarmed by it. The 3 squadron leaders quickly rushed to Aang's and Lu's side as they see that Aung had completely collapsed, causing Lu to fall onto the ground as well. Aung could barely keep his eyes open as he sees the 3 squadron leaders rushing towards him. Jin shouts out to Joel and Jel to save them and that they would talk about what happened later. Aung is then seen lying on top of a skull that was seen when he was in his half-demonic mode. A voice tells Aung that he must really like using its power. Aung slowly opens his eyes, showing his tired pupils, and asks the voice who it was. The voice responds to Aung that they had met once half a century ago and that he should still be able to remember it. Aung recalls his memories of the 8-fin demon with wings that had approached his past self when he was dying. He tells the voice that it was one of the 2 8-fin demons that he saw and wanted to ask it how many 8-fin demons there were. But the voice tells Aung not to worry about the number of 8-fin demons, as he would soon know the number of them in the future. Aang's eyes open widely as he sees the 8-fin demon king chilling right beside him. The 8-fin demon introduces itself to Aung as the Crimson Fin King, the strongest 8-fin demon. Aung could only stare in silence at the appearance of the Crimson Fin King. The Crimson Fin King thought deeply about the fact that Aung was not even scared upon seeing it, which made it no wonder how his consciousness managed to reject its will from before. The Crimson Fin King noted that Aung was truly the strongest soldier. Aung backs away from the Crimson Fin King, asking him why he had chosen him, but the Crimson Fin King assures him that he doesn't have to worry about being harmed by him for now. But Aung brushes off his reply, yelling at him about what was happening to his body. The Crimson Fin King touches his head and notes that Aung has been asking so many questions. The Crimson Fin King's hand had suddenly appeared right beside Aang's face, which shocks him. Another Crimson Fin King appeared behind Aung. He holds onto Aang's face, telling him that he will soon learn about his plans eventually and didn't need to be in such a rush. It points a sharp fingernail at Aang's body, telling him that his body was its as well, and due to a variety of reasons the Crimson Fin King might have to hibernate for a long time. He caresses Aang's naked body with its clawed hands, telling him face to face that in order to keep the both of them safe, Aung needed to work hard on evolving himself in the future. The Crimson Fin King that was holding onto Aung slowly vanished from him as he stares at the other Crimson Fin King that stood up in front of him. The Crimson Fin King reaches its hand towards Aung and continued on from what the other Crimson Fin King was saying, and that Aung needed to get closer to the near-perfect being that the Crimson Fin King was. Aung slowly stands up and laughs at the Crimson Fin King, asking it how low it thinks of us human beings. He yells out at the Crimson Fin King that it was a bastard and that he would kill it while attempting to punch the Crimson Fin King. But a voice shouts at Aung, telling him to wake up. Aung was seen half asleep in pajamas holding onto something. Shujo and Snow could be seen in the background rushing towards him as Aung was shocked to see that he was holding onto Lu's shirt with his fist raised in the air. Aung could stare at Lu's naked chest and commented that it was so white, but then realizes something was off. He had the monkey pervert face as he thinks about what he was doing. A slapping sound is heard in the air. Aung is seen on the ground being grappled by Lu's employees who cursed him for doing what he did to Lu. They couldn't believe that Aung had the courage to grope Lu and that even if he was Lu's savior, what he did was unforgivable. Another employee yelled out that they should cut off his hand and kill him afterward. Aung could only take in their attacks as a red handprint is seen on his face. Snow wondered if he should join in or stop it while Shujo is seen taking photos of what was currently going on. Lu buttons her shirt with an embarrassed look, telling the employees to bury Aung after they were done with him. "Nonsense," said a voice behind Lu, causing her to turn around to see who it was. A man wearing a white uniform is seen standing with the 3 squadron leaders, asking Lu if that was how she was going to treat the savior of her life. Everyone in the room lowered their heads in the presence of the white uniformed man's arrival. Lu bows her head and calls him father while the other employees called him master. Aung was still on the ground when he heard what they called the man in the white uniform. It was Lu's father. Joel introduces him as the leader of the famous martial arts sect in Helios City, the head of the Sidhu family called Sidhu Sungong. Joel then asks Aung if since he was from Helios City too, surely he would recognize the man in front of him. Aung stares and thinks deeply that this man was the father of his comrade and the one who seems to have been taking care of him since he was in a coma. Aung proceeds to bow and show his respect to Lu's father, greeting him as sect leader Sidhu and thanking him for the good care that he had shown him. But sect leader Sidhu laughs it off and tells Aung that it was no worries. He touches Aung's shoulder and informs him that since he had saved his daughter's life, the Sidhu family is extremely grateful for his courage in rescuing his daughter. He turns to Jean and tells him to tell everyone that they can take a rest in the Sidhu family's dojo and that they would celebrate the Demon Wave's retreat later. The 3 squadron leaders bow their heads and apologize to him for the troubles. He informs the 3 squadron leaders that he had watched them since young, so they didn't have to say such things, and to treat the Sidhu family's dojo as their own home while taking care of his daughter. He explains that Lu has a pricky personality, so they needed to punish her accordingly and train her well, but made sure to not show her any special treatment. Jean informs the leader that there was nothing to worry about and that the 3 squadron leaders would do their best. Lu was upset over what she heard her father tell the squadron leaders. But Jean informs the others that they needed everyone to leave the room except Aung. Aung was caught by surprise. The 3 squadron leaders were now alone in the room with Aung. Jean then talks about the one-fin demon that had appeared in the warrior exam and about the demon wave, asking Aung if he knew anything about it. But Joel cuts him off, telling Jean that even though Aung was his own team member, he should not hesitate in his words. Joel then informs Jean that he would do it instead. Joel calls out to Aung to ask him a question. The 3 squadron leaders' aura erupt intensely as they glared at Aung when Joel asked him if he was a demon. Thanks for watching the latest part from the voice of Manhwa. Subscribe for more content and don't forget to comment below what you want to see in the future. Like and share for more.